much.
Thank you so much, Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Mikayla Arciaga. I'm the Georgia Advocacy Director for the Intercultural Development Research Association. We are a legacy K-12 civil rights nonprofit. We have filed, navigated, and provided technical assistance for hundreds of OCR complaints, Office of Civil Rights at the federal level over the last 50 years. And so I am here just to provide some feedback. We are, as I said, neutral, but we strongly support the spirit and intention of the bill as we see it, particularly this creation of statewide infrastructure to respond and support children who have been impacted by discrimination for their civil rights. So a few of the things we'd really like to flag and encourage, and I've provided these to Chairman Goodman as well as to the Lieutenant Governor's office. I've also sent this to all of you all through email, but we really want to emphasize that in order to do this well and with fidelity, there will need to be substantially more infrastructure than just a single person at the state level. There need to be mechanisms in place to help triage some of these things at the local level. Some of these situations, especially with how broad some of the language is in this bill, are things that can be handled oftentimes at the local level. Understanding that when those systems at the local level fail, there is a needed escalation pathway up to higher levels where the DOE can play a role here. We have submitted some pretty substantial recommendations for language on how to do this. But in general, we had 4 areas we'd like you all to consider thinking about. The first is immediate response and support for the victims who bring forward a complaint or allegation of discrimination. Unfortunately, with the federal process, sometimes folks would file a federal complaint and be subject and wait for months, if not years, for a response or any sort of a resolution. We would really encourage y'all to consider a process where, especially if it is a student who is experiencing these things, that they receive immediate response either in the form of counseling or additional services and support, and that also whoever brings such a complaint or allegation is protected from retaliation in that process. So that's the first, is that immediate response. Second is allowing for that more scaled infrastructure that allows for ground level triage and response.
30 seconds.
Second is an investigative procedure for systems to be able to navigate some of these. This will require additional training. I think Mr. Rothberg said it does require substantial training in understanding what discrimination can and does look like. That training needs to happen for systems, teachers, and the community. Finally, we also would encourage you all to consider adopting proactive preventative measures in the form of that training,
Thank you
as
for
well
your
as
input.
environment. Thank you so much, Chairman.
Thank you for your input.